What's up guys, how's it going? My name is Marcus Jose of the Bull Co and welcome to our YouTube. Today you guys are watching my video on diets or on what to feed your American Bully. Now, I always say 3 things really come into play to getting your dog to look as good as possible. The first is mental stability. Number 2 is a great diet. And number 3 is consistent daily exercise. If you apply all of these things to your dog's gonna look the best that it can. It's gonna be in a lot better shape. It's not gonna be overweight. And the coat is gonna be beautiful, shiny, no dandruff, no hot spots. And I know what you're thinking, mental stability, how do you gauge that? How do you work that? Well, it comes along with a great exercise program. Before we get into what foods you should feed, you guys need to understand what food can actually do for your dog and what it can't do. A lot of times in the American Bully community, people are under the assumption that those of us with these 100-pound dogs with monsters with muscles and big heads, you believe that you can feed your dog to that. Unfortunately, it's a misconception. Doesn't matter what you feed your dog. It doesn't matter if you feed your dog 5 pounds of dog food a day. If it doesn't have the genetics to be that type of dog, that much muscle, that much power, then it's just not going to be that. And there's no way you can feed that muscle onto their dog. In the terms of building muscle comes with strength training or comes with isometric training. And to be quite honest, I don't really understand if you can build muscle like you do, like a bodybuilder would. I don't think you can. And if you understand bodybuilding and how muscles grow, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Now, what it can do for your dog is get your dog looking the best that it can look for that particular dog. It can, keep them in a good, healthy weight, whether that be lean or extra lean or, slightly above lean. A good diet really does help with the smell of their body odor, their breath, the look of their coat. You can always tell how healthy a dog is by looking at its coat. And if it's not shining, they're not healthy. What good health looks like on an American Bully is an American Bully who's exuding exuberance. I don't know if that's the right word. Let's try it again.
What?
A healthy looking American Bully is a dog who is oozing confidence, who's shining in the sunlight, who's moving well and happy and loving life, or has a zest for life, literally, in the standard. And this is what you want to strive for. Way too often in this community are people okay with having their dogs overweight or just fat to try to put that extra 2 or 3 pounds on them. And although the dog may look good sometimes to some of you, not to me, but to some of you, you'll have people like myself, advocates like myself, who understand what that person has done, what they're trying to do, and what they're accomplishing, which is absolutely nothing. And it's an unfortunate thing for the dog that their owner doesn't understand to not put excess weight on the dog. It puts pressure on the joints, puts pressure on the ligaments, and all around gets the dog, puts the dog in bad health. The types of kibble you should be feeding your American Bully, for me, is premium dog food all the way. These are Origins, Victor, Diamond, Blue Buffalo, Taste of the Wild. The only kibble I feed my dogs is Taste of the Wild, puppy and adult formula, and Victor. Now, I don't feed it all at one because they're 2 different brands or 2 different calorie contents and 2 different ingredient content. I don't want to, mess their stomach up. But I do rotate their food, and it just keeps it fresh for them. It makes me feel a little bit better than that they're eating all their food. Now, what are some of the results that you can expect from feeding a good kibble? Number 1 is going to be coat. It has to be coat. It literally is the only feature that you can almost feed into a dog. You know, like humans, if you eat too much, like myself, I tend to get a little fat in the face, right? And vice versa, if I eat good, healthy foods, vegetables, which I typically don't, you know, my skin will get a lot better. So this is kind of the same thing for the American Bully. They need a good, healthy diet, premium dog food. Their coats are going to be better for it. Their breath is going to smell better. Their overall body odor is going to smell better. You can always tell when a dog is misfed and, you know, is unhealthy, just because of those things that aren't standing out to you. Now, the results that you can expect if you're feeding one of these lower quality dog foods to the premium dog food is vast and a lot different. You're going to see an improvement for the skin coat, coloration. You're going to see an improvement on consistency in the energy levels. You know, it might even make the red feet go away. So I know you guys have experienced the red coloration on the feet, on the chest, and that really is a food allergy, and you guys have to understand that. These other things, say after this video you look up some of these foods I'm talking about, you go and look them up and you buy one, okay? Make sure you know how to transition from the food you're feeding onto one of these premium dog foods. If you feed too much too fast, your dog is gonna get diarrhea, okay? And that it really isn't good for a dog, and nor is it good for yourself having to pick it up. Also, whenever you switch the food, you want to monitor that dog for at least 2 weeks. And I'm not talking about, you know, just looking at him and petting him. I'm talking about actually on a daily basis, looking your dog over, looking at his stomach, or her stomach, looking at the feet, looking at the skin coloration, looking at the stool content, stuff like that. You want to monitor these things because these things will tell you whether or not the dog's having a good reaction to the food or a bad reaction to the food. Some things that you should look out for when a dog is having a bad reaction is, like I said, the red coloration of the skin, the feet. It's really easy to see on like white dogs. Bad breath, hot spots, red spots, loss of hair, an excess of shedding hair. These are things you want to look out for, and if these things start, you want to stop the food right away if they're having a bad reaction. Just because the food costs $40 to $50 does not mean the food's going to work for your dog. So you have to find the food that works for your dog, and then once you find that food, you stick with it. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is raw feeding, and I hear this all the time. You know, what about raw feeding? How do you feed raw? Stuff like that. And I typically don't go over these things, although I do know how to feed it. I typically don't go over it because I don't want you guys to get the wrong impression, okay? I want those of you out there who have normal jobs, who have normal lives, to not feel like you have to feed a raw diet because it's the best diet for your dog, although it is. And transversely, I don't want those of you with 2-3-month-old puppies to feed raw. And although it's good for them, typically people with new pets and new dogs who just start feeding raw don't understand how to do it correctly. Now, if you don't know or understand how to do it correctly, there's just too many negatives that can happen with a small puppy. We're talking bad joints, bad ligaments, stretched ligaments, not enough calories, not enough nutrients. Because a puppy goes through their calories and nutrients so fast, you really do have to keep up on feeding them almost 3 to 4 times a day. So if you're feeding raw 2, 3, 4 times a day, every single one of those meals has to be balanced. You can't cut corners. And if you do so, you're gonna have a dog that's lacking in some areas, and ultimately it could lead to structural problems down the road. And I don't want that to happen. Now that we've got some of the bad things out of the way, let's talk about the positive thing. In the world of raw feeding, there's 2 types of feeding. There's the PMR method, which is the Prey Model Raw. The PMR diet consists of 80% meat, 80% raw meat, 10% raw meat bone, 5% liver and organs. Now, I don't really follow this type of method simply because I do believe that dogs have become accustomed to the way they're fed with the kibble. So that, you know, their bodies, I feel like their bodies do need vegetables. They do need you know, plant life, stuff like that. So this, for me, premortal raw, is just, it wasn't fit to my beliefs and my views. But you absolutely can do it. I do have a blog on the benefits of raw feeding on my website at The Bullco, so go ahead and check that out after the video. The second accepted raw feeding method is the BARF method, which is the biologically appropriate raw foods diet. Now I'm just gonna read directly off of my blog on my website, so you guys go check it out after this video, okay? The biologically appropriate raw foods, the BARF diet, is designed to provide dogs with homemade diet consisting of raw meat, bones, organs, vegetables, fruits, while eliminating grains. A complete BARF diet includes 70% meat, 10% raw edible bone, 5% liver, and 5% other skinny organs, 7% vegetables, and 3% fruit. BARF diet may have multiple animal proteins in a single feeding. Now, I do like this a lot better. I do believe this would, for me and my beliefs, it would fit more in the realm of what a dog needs, more nutrients, stuff like that. And I do recommend this for you guys if you were to get into it. Take a look at a BARF diet feeding, and I think that's the way to go opposed to the premortal raw. Now, the benefits of raw feeding for me, and from what I've known and what I've seen, me feeding the complete diet and it working, the skin condition, coat condition is just unparalleled. There hasn't been any food, kibble, I can feed a dog to get their coat to look like it looks when it's on raw. Another huge benefit is like the odors. They don't smell, their breath doesn't smell, their teeth are white. And I think one of them, also for me, the main things, the energy is consistent, and also the excrement. It doesn't have a bad smell to it, and there's just not a lot of it to pick up because most of the raw diet is absorbed in the intestine. So the waste is very little, opposed to when you're feeding a kibble and there's a lot of ingredients in there that can't be absorbed and the waste is kind of a lot, okay? Anyways, that's my explanation on raw feeding. If you want to know more, please go and visit at thebullco.com and take a look at that. You actually will see a couple more things on there that I didn't go over quite yet, but you can go take a look at it over there, okay? Just to wrap this video up, guys, when you're feeding your dog, make sure you're not feeding your dog to have a certain look. As in, you're not trying to bulk your dog up. Whether it's a puppy, a young adolescent, or an adult, you're not trying to bulk your dog up. If you have an American Bully, a true American Bully, no matter what you feed that dog should exude and should show the silhouette of an American Bully. And what that means is if you were to put your dog behind or hang a white sheet, put it behind the white sheet, put a light behind that dog, the silhouette outline of your dog should look like an American Bully. Muscles, the girth, the bone, stuff like that. If your dog doesn't have that, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to feed your dog to that. Does that mean that the dog's going to be a bad dog? No. Your dog just lacks the breed type, it lacks the muscle structure, lacks the structure needed for that. And also, the number one thing it lacks is the genetics to have that. My advice, if you want a dog, American Bully, if you want a real American Bully that looks like an American Bully that you see, that you follow, that you love, buy it from a breeder or buy from somebody like myself who breeds those types of dogs with good phenotypical genes, the expression of those genes on that dog. Do your research and really stay away from any breeder who tells you to trust the blood. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining in. If you haven't already, make sure you please subscribe to our videos. Go ahead and click the bell so you get notified every time we post a new video. We will be posting videos every single week now. Also, if you haven't already, check out my Instagram at TheBullco, as well as check out our business page on Facebook at TheBullco. My name is Marcus Jose. Thank you so much, guys. Check out our videos on our channel. Take it easy.